my friends. My name is Kelly Atkins, and I wanted to share with you a practice of looking at your body as a piece of art. For me, this practice of shifting from a more left brain approach to the body of what I need to do and analyzing and critiquing and going into a more linear way of thinking, with this practice of looking at the body as more art, looking at it from the shape and the design and from a place of appreciation, no matter what is happening for you, utilizes the right hemisphere of the brain, which is a more creative side. And it is a practice that has really helped me to develop more radiance and more love inside, right down to a cellular level. I teach and created a movement practice called Kai, K-A-I, that in Swahili means lovable. And it's a dance practice done barefoot that's low impact to the body, and it also has the philosophy behind it that you are absolutely lovable just the way you are right now. You don't have to change anything. And that from that premise, your body's health starts to regenerate far faster than if we were to work out from a place of no pain, no gain. So looking at the body as art, I wanted to share with you, this is a book I have that I share during trainings. It's called the Photographic Atlas of the Body. I wonder if the camera will zoom in on this for me. Let's see. So that's the cover. And I wanted to share with you some pictures of the body from an artistic point of view and from deep down inside. So I'll just open a couple pages and share. Okay. So this is a picture of active blood platelets. See if you can see that. That's here on the right. And over here on the left is a blood clot, what it looks like. All these little tiny dots and circles. Let's go to something else. Here is a synaptic junction in the brain. So that's that moment you have an aha, or you shift a thought and you're feeling much more vibrant. The colors and the shapes that happen in that. And this is a Purkinje cell. I'm not sure, that must be maybe a cell in the brain because that's the section that's on. Okay, so here's another page. These are ovaries and blood vessels. And let's see what else. Here's one. This is the tracheal nucleus cell and the cilia on the inside. And this is a cross section of the cilia. And let's do one more. Here's major blood vessels here on the right that you can see inside. This is more of a drawing than a picture. But what I wanted to express, here's the blood supply to the kidneys. What I wanted to express through these pictures is that deep down inside of us, our bodies are a piece of art. And they have shapes and they have livelinesses and they have sensations in our body. And when we can go to a place of deep appreciation and even wonder and awe of the body's capacity to heal itself and to shift things that are happening, we become more empowered, and there's so much more love that we then can share and feel so much better with. So I wanted to share, go into a meditation and guide you into the artistry of your body. If you have a pillow or blankets and you're more comfortable laying down, feel welcome to do that. And if you're more comfortable sitting, then by all means, just finding a chair and taking a moment to feel your feet on the floor. And if you're laying down, get comfortable. You could put an iPad over your eyes or a blanket if you'd like. And just really let's let go of anything that's distracting us and come down into this moment and how you perceive it through your body. So notice as you scan your body, the parts of you that are in contact with the floor. And just, if you'd like, you could even lean a little more to one side or the other just to create some sensation of shifting, and then you can feel that feeling of support from underneath you. Whether your feet are touching and you're just moving through the feet from side to side or front to back. So we're connecting into the element in nature called earth. And this is the earth also of our physical bodies. That this solidness is what we feel in our bones that allows everything else to be protected and supported. Now the bones, as much as they feel like a static, solid structure, are actually able to take in nutrients in the bone cells and release what they need to release. And inside the bones, that's where it's almost like a little factory, that when we move our body and when we especially have subtle impact, very gentle impact, the bones awaken to release what they need to release that helps the body build stronger bones and health throughout the body. So we can be in a place of gratitude as well as understanding that our bones are our foundation. They're our home for everything else to rest around and inside of. And that our bones have a different sensation than, say, muscles or organs. And they give us a sense of wholeness from the bottoms of our feet to the top of our head. Our structure of our skeleton is what we will move through life with and what is always with us. So go into that feeling of thank you bones. And maybe even perhaps imagine that you could see your bones as you scan through your body and you see their shape. Some bones are circular, like the pelvis, almost like a bowl. Some bones, like the rib cage, are almost like the cage of a bird. And they're designed to help protect vital organs of your heart and your lungs. Some bones have a long end, like the upper arm bones or the legs, where there's a part of the bone that's closest to the core, and there's a part of the bone that reaches out into the world. And then there are bones that are like the skull, which are circular as well, and curvy bones. All the bones are connected through our joints, which are simply space. The space between these two bones and this bone is called the elbow, but it's simply a space, and when we move it, fluid is released. So if we're feeling stiff or tight, usually it's movement that we need to help release and activate some of that synovial fluid, and then that also has a healing component in it. That can be circulated, so I can take some of this fluidity from the elbow and invite it to travel up the arm bone, through the muscles, through the joint of the shoulder, and into the spaces in between the ribs, the lungs. You've got intercostal muscles here. So as you breathe and then bring movement in, you might be able to activate even more pleasure. This movement can feel good. If you've experienced some pain, that's your body saying, just do it a little bit differently. So see if you can find even subtle types of movement. It's all connected through the fascia, all the way into the core. And so you could even feel like you're moving energy out, moving your body outward, like you're reaching for something, or you can move the energy through the muscles inward, like you're bringing something in. You might even, as you start to connect to, let's just play with that arm movement a little bit. So as you start to explore, you might say, you know what, I feel fluid here, but tight here. So we know that through the muscles of the body and through the bones, everything is connected. And when we have fluidity, when we have movement that feels good, there's more health. So if we can find a way to take the fluidity from here, and with that body awareness, bring it into the areas that are feeling a little cloggy. I like to use that word cloggy, or they're feeling a little dense or tight. And so something is softening while something is activating. And you're looking to not overwork. So if these muscles are really tight, You might say, bring it in from the back of the body, through the shoulder blades or through the spine in an undulation. Giving yourself lots of space and time to find movement that feels good. This is like feeding your body. It's giving yourself nourishment of pleasure in the muscles, bones, in the joints. You're feeding your body that, which is often something kind of rare, especially if you're experiencing healing and there's pain. It's very easy to take more notice of the pain, but if we can hold the pain with awareness and acknowledgement, and also find, well, something can feel good. So how can I activate pleasure and see if it'll grow today? And maybe even measure it every time you come back to this practice so that you grow your capacity to feel pleasure, not just with the video, but maybe even on your own when you're doing your errands during the day and starting to build a practice of, I can move from pleasure. This is how I can do it. And meaning you, that you'll find your way in. And that is such a powerful thing to wire through the brain and to start to empower yourself with through your body. So with all that download, just take a moment, even place a hand on your heart, take a breath in through your heart, and as you exhale, soften and say, ah, ah. We'll do that a few times. One more time, breathe into your temple, your body temple. And as you exhale, soften and melt into being more relaxed, just digesting what's happening for you. So if you go now into the heart with your attention and go to the breastbone there. Even if you want to, you could place your fingers there just to identify it and really start to own it. You'll start to feel like this is the shape of my breastbone. Your breastbone is a little bone connected through cartilage that connects through the ribs, and it protects the heart, and it has a gland behind it called your thymus. It kind of sometimes feels nice to thump it or to just let your hand rest on it. They've done studies that when we do practices of self-love and just like this, almost like this honoring within a movement like this, the body releases chemicals that are feel-good, healthy hormones that help reduce some of the stress ones. Even if we're not feeling that lovable to the self, we can do the movement and it bypasses what our thinking brain might be thinking and brings us more into a place of body love, going beyond the stories or the thoughts the mind might be thinking and letting the body guide us. So it honors that wisdom. Another arm movement that's really powerful and shifts chemicals is this one. It's called Victory Arm. You may have heard of mudras, hand mudras, which do the same thing as the upper arm bone, and as our whole body can become a moving mudra with an intention behind it. So if you're feeling like really closed through the shoulders or breathing is hard, open up through the chest, lift the elbows, look upward, and you could even do like a thumb here, like yes. So even if you're not feeling yes, this motion, can help you to charge up and shift from whatever emotion and story is going on to move more into a feeling of I can do this, walking yourself forward into whatever challenges that you're facing in this moment. So we're connecting deeper into the heart, and we've been around the breastbone, and now I invite you to go on the inside of the breastbone. So if you take your attention, your awareness to the inside, and imagine you could just rest your awareness there behind that bone, looking in towards your heart and lungs. This is a good time to offer more relaxation through your neck and shoulders, to allow your breath to go to this place, and just feel any new sensations that you feel, honoring whatever they are. So it could be a density, or you feel a heaviness. You might feel that you can sense a shape there of the breastbone or one side of it. And offering it love, offering it acknowledgement, offering this space, your full out presence. Begin to measure the inside of the breastbone to the back of the ribs. So we're going to measure directly through the breastbone to what would be directly behind it on the back. So this space, sometimes when we think of anatomy, it looks like a picture on a page, like I showed you. Now I want you to go inside and experience yourself from a 360-degree awareness, and that you're going inside with your imagination and just trusting this, that there are things happening inside that you can feel and sense, and maybe there's numbness or tingling, or maybe you can't connect here. Whatever your practice is, if you offer it love and acceptance, that this is where I am with this awareness practice now, and almost play hide and seek with it, like I don't feel anything, but I'm going to stay here and wait and see if something comes. Your practice of being more body aware will grow. Your practice of listening into your body, feeling, and then maybe even responding. If something feels not well, maybe you can just add a breath to it, or a shifting of your body, or maybe your body wants to bring in some kind of a rocking motion. This is your natural body wisdom. That is your birthright, and it's there. And it just might take weeding out some things that are in the way, and a practice of coming home again and again to your heart and your awareness, and this will begin to grow over time. So let's go into the very center. So between the breastbone and the back of the body, there's a center, and it may be like nestled between the right and left hemisphere of the lungs. And let's practice breathing down and into the lungs, and imagine the lungs expanding out to the sides, front and back, and down. Here we go. And as you exhale, imagine you could see into your lungs, and you could just look around and thank your lungs for each part of each breath. Stretching the lungs on the inhale, taking in life and beauty. And as you exhale, imagining you could see the lungs doing this expansion and contraction with ease. Now let's breathe in through the mouth and out through the nose. In through the mouth, out through the nose. And we'll reverse it. In through the nose, out through the mouth, softening anything that's tightening here. This is a way in through the nose and out through the mouth, a way to help calm the nervous system down. And that'll allow your body to go into a deeper state of relaxation and allow you to access more body wisdom. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now with your hands, just start to massage into the spaces between the ribs. And notice if there's any areas that are tender. Be gentle with yourself. Find the pressure that feels just right. You can even grab some of the muscles and massage it to like you're squeezing. So this practice of body love, just as it is right now, to me it takes a regular practice of connecting in here again and again, and noticing when I go to a place of judgment and bringing myself back to loving the artistry of my body, the uniqueness of my body, the scars, the fat, the bones, the organs, the sensations, and even the spirituality of the body, that the innocence of the body, and the kind of the wonder or the mystery of what changes in the body the deeper I pay attention to it and spend time with it and bring myself into a practice of loving. There's so much miraculous things that happen when I don't go into the thinking mind and go deeper into the ever-changing, always growing, malleable body that's so much like the earth, that heals itself and recovers and has its organic natural time. And that's nurturing and holds me. And in that place, it's a good gratitude practice of just saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And now you can go from this center of this heart, and let's go with that emotion of gratitude, deep savoring, and move down to the belly, and even placing your hands on your belly. So the belly can be, there's a big nerve plexus behind the belly button. And then, of course, our digestive organs. So if you use your hands and just follow what feels good, you might circle around your belly or go to the side and move down more to the hips or thighs. And this is just a chance to say, okay, am I holding tension here? Is there a way to move my sides of my waist that feels good? To move some energy and find some of that synovial fluid that releases through the hip. When I let the hip move, it moves a little bit through the lumbar spine and sacrum area. Hands are wonderful healing tools. So if you rub your hands together, create a little friction, and then just let your hands rest where they need to, it can really change a state of pain or an ache into something a little more comfortable. Hands, I think of them like mother's hands. Like we all have this innate knowing of where to place our hands on a child. If a child is saying, oh, I got a boo-boo, or they're crying, and you automatically go over, like, what can I do? The hands will go, and there'll be like an intention of, let me take some of this pain from you. Let me just hold you. I can make this feel better, soothing quality. So we can also bring that to ourselves. Make this feel better for you. Sometimes using imagery, which is a really powerful way to use your mind as you're going into touch, can also be something you can do with touch to connect to more body love and more embodiment. So the image of a purple light coming off your hands and entering into the parts of your body that are feeling like they need some extra attention. And then when you move your body around, you might be able to move that light into wherever your body is needing more. Our bodies will naturally gravitate towards what they need. So you might find yourself going into a rocking motion. Children do it naturally. As adults, we start to get kind of in the mechanical mode of don't touch your friends and stay in one line, you know, and sitting in all one line. But if we return back into that innocent child, your body will know which side to lay on and how to, if your body needs to shake to release something, or rock or undulate, it will go into those positions if you allow it to lead you. We call that the body leading the brain versus the brain leading the body. Like if you're learning a new step, the brain you might look out and see the step and then tell your body, it's the right foot going front and back. And that can be an effective way of learning a movement. But another way and another practice that is super healthy is saying, body, where do you want to go with this? Where do you want to go with this part of my body? And feel that it's a different state, mental state, a different consciousness to allow the body to teach you and to guide you. And you become an open witness to it. Sometimes we can bring our awareness now from the belly all the way up to the head. Take your time getting there. This is where all our senses are, and there's a lot of inner ear fluid that if we don't move our head, like if we're looking at our eyes become locked in on one spot a lot, that's what our eyes will do when we're afraid. We're dialing in for more information. When we're feeling relaxed, we open our peripheral gaze. So if you actually take your fingers and wiggle them and come to the outside looking forward, but seeing where the edges of your hands are within your vision, and where do they just go out into the shadows. So this practice is another thing to do to shift yourself into more being home in your body and your senses, your sense of sight. It's a good time to blink your eyes a few times, find that different sensation of I'm looking directly, now I am opening into possibilities, right? So when the eyes are locked and the head is locked, we tend to be locked in one thought. But if we open up and let the eyes, let the body lead us into the wisdom, the mind itself will follow into, well, maybe, I didn't see that before. Like, I didn't see that perspective or that idea. So we can sort of dance our way into letting our mind not be too attached to one thought and opening up perspectives. Another thing with moving the head is we start to get that inner ear fluid moving, which is really healthy. It'll be more liquid then. And that helps to release tension from the jaw with stress or from the neck and shoulders. So allowing your eyes to look and then feeling how the body follows. So the sense of sight, the curiosity, and the practice of I'm looking, and then there's the moment I see. And that's when the eyes dial into something and we recognize it or we name it or we start to dial into more details. I want more details about that. So you could practice that right now. I look, I see, and then feel, what are you feeling in your body? So I look, I see, can sense my jawline. I look, I see, I can feel myself holding tension right here on the right collarbone. I look, I see, I'm just sensing my eyelids, they're a little bit warm and burning, a little bit of warmth there. I'm going to blink them some more. So this practice is another way to embody the head and the senses. So I'm going to leave you with this and share with you another hour-long dance called Come to Mama, and it's where you'll actually be learning some steps as well as this practice of letting the body lead. It'll help to integrate both of those and bring some integration of the body and the mind together with joy. This has been such an honor to share this with you, sending you all much love on your journey and much compassion. You've been dished something very challenging, and I believe in you, and I believe in the body and the power you have to heal. Namaste.